Okay, so we have another nugget coming at you, and this one is going to talk about books. I always talk about books. Some people probably get tired of it, but I don't know if I've just done a specific one on you got to read more books if you want to be more successful. It's the easiest, fastest way to do it, and there's tons of information out there. I hear all the time from guys and gals, I don't like to read. I've never been into reading, whatever, this, that, and the other. And I was the same way, and a lot of people are, but you just have to figure out a way to get past the habit of not reading and start reading some books. So I'm going to go through a couple examples of some books that you might want to pick up. I've got some recommendations here, and they kind of focus more on like sales and some certain authors that you might want to go along with these authors. The thing is, there's so many books out there to read. You don't have to go crazy and read 4, 5, 10 books a month, but you really should commit to reading one book a month. And at the end of the video, we'll talk about a couple things I do to plow through a few more books. I keep getting this knowledge in my brain. On that note, I was just talking to a guy, Larry Bess, about reading books. And some people like to take a book and really just go through the book slowly and analyze it and take notes and highlight things and really focus on that one book. And if you can do that for a couple months on some of these really good books that pertain to sales, then do that. That's great. I'm more like Larry, where I just plow through lots and lots of books. And then I start kind of seeing common threads that make sense to me and are beneficial to me. And I use those things throughout all the books that I read. So I just go through book after book after book. There's very few books that I read more than one time. Bottom line is you got to start reading some books. So what are some suggestions of books you could do? I'm going to go through a few sales and influence type suggestions. I have just these written down because I couldn't find any on my shelf, but Joe Verde is a great person that you should read books, basically everything he does. He's kind of old school. He's been doing this a long time, but he's an expert on auto sales. So read Joe Verde books. And Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone is the exact same. He's done a ton of stuff on sales, and he started in the automotive industry. So he has a ton of auto content, which relates to RV content. It's all the same stuff. Now he does all kinds of high level training and sales in all kinds of organizations. Another good author you could check out is Mandino. Mandino writes kind of short little stories like this book. It's not very thick. They're easy to read. They have a good story in them, and a lot of it's really sales related, but they're just stories. They're like parables, so they're kind of more like fiction. They're really easy reads. Randy Gage, you can come back and watch this video again and get some of these names, but Randy Gage is an author that talks about success. I'd read everything on Randy Gage. He's got a lot of different books. I think I've read a lot or all of his books. Patrick Lencioni. This book, The Ideal Team Player, is phenomenal. All of Patrick's books are phenomenal for team, leadership type things, business type environments, phenomenal. Anthony Robbins kind of got me started on success, and I read probably everything he's written. This is one example. He has a ton of great books on sales and success and business and leadership, phenomenal stuff. You should read everything by Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy is like one of the most world-renowned experts on sales of our generation. Everything he writes applies to everyone that might be watching this video. So Brian Tracy, everything. No Excuses is a great option. Jim Collins, if you haven't heard Good to Great, phenomenal book. All the top business leaders have read it. Jim Collins writes all kinds of great books. I'd read all of Jim Collins' stuff. Dave Anderson, and I just got a couple more on authors, but Dave Anderson started in the auto business. Now is a leadership business training coach, right? So he does all kinds of things. But his books are phenomenal, and they relate to our industry specifically. You've probably heard of Zig Ziglar. Read everything on Zig Ziglar. He's like an idol when it comes to success and sales. The last one would be C Maxwell. This guy's brilliant. He writes a ton of leadership stuff, self-improvement, leadership type things. Everything he's written is good. You should read those. So I'm going to go through a couple quick books that you should probably just read these individual books. Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, is a must read. You got to find time to get through that. You're in sales. You should be able to influence people. That book's about influence. Influence by Dr. Robert Cialdini. That's phenomenal. If you're in sales, you got to read that book. Another thing kind of on influence and the thought is, this is a classic, Think and Grow Rich. It's old. It's kind of weird a little bit, but it's good stuff on how to get your mind right. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Phenomenal book. You got to read this book too, by Dr. Stephen Covey. He also writes a lot of good books. Carl Sewell owned dealerships and wrote a book called Customer for Life. If you're in the auto business or RV, I would say you should read that. There's one on Brian Tracy. So these are sales specific books, but advanced selling strategies. Really good book on sales. Sales Magic. I don't like the title. Someone told me about this. It sounded kind of cheesy. Really, really good book on sales. I would read that. Secrets of Question-Based Selling, one of the best ever written. I would read that. Chet Holmes, Ultimate Sales Machine. That's a great book on sales. A little higher level business type sales. Power is a really funky book that you might want to read about kind of a different take on influence. Really interesting stuff. So I don't know, if you went through those authors and you picked one book by each of them, and then you picked half of that stack of sales and influence books, then you got a book to read for the next year, one per month for the next year. So how do you get through this? Oh, just for the crowd, I thought I'd throw up Art of the Deal. That's a pretty good sales book too, by Trump. So how do you get through these books? Well, I use something called Audible. So it's hard to sit down and physically read a book for me a lot. So I get on audible.com, Amazon bought them, and I have a bunch of books on there. I get through a lot of Audible books. In fact, I was just looking through that. I get through about 4 Audible books a month. It's easy. They hold the place for you. You can listen to it on your phone, on the airplane, in the car. This phone, you could get something like a waterproof phone. So I put it up in the shower. When I'm showering, I'll listen to books. I got headphones that are like ear muffs that you can sleep with or lay down with, and they're comfortable, and then you can listen to more books. Read books physically. Whatever you do, if you want to get more successful, start reading more books. Try to do 1 per month and really focus on influence and sales if you're the type of person that's an F&I manager, salesperson watching this video.